Hi, I'm Sophia Lee. Yesterday, my 6-year-old daughter, Emily, looked me in the eye and asked why I was pretending to be her mommy when Aunt Claire was her real mother. That was the moment everything shattered, and I realized the intricate web of lies my sister-in-law had been spinning for months. It started 3 months ago, right after Claire, my husband Mike's sister, returned to town following her divorce. She showed up on our doorstep with 2 suitcases and a brittle smile, saying, "Just until I get back on my feet." Mike, ever the protective older brother, didn't hesitate to offer her our guest room. At first, things seemed fine. Claire was wonderful with Emily, always offering to pick her up from school or help with homework while Mike and I juggled work. As a pediatric nurse, my shifts were unpredictable, and I appreciated the extra set of hands. "You're lucky to have such a great aunt," I'd tell Emily, watching them bake cookies or paint together. But Claire's occasional glances, filled with a mix of pity and superiority, made my stomach twist. It began with small changes. Emily stopped rushing to greet me when I came home. When she started calling me Sophia instead of Mom, I corrected her, but her puzzled expression left me unsettled. "Kids go through phases," Claire said one evening, running her fingers through Emily's hair. Her words were casual, but the tone held an edge that I couldn't ignore. Then I found the photos. Cleaning Emily's room, I came across old pictures of Claire holding her as a baby. They'd been carefully altered to erase me from the originals. My heart pounded as I pieced it together. "Mommy Claire says you're just pretending," Emily told me yesterday, her innocent face clouded with confusion. "She showed me pictures from when I was born. She said you're only helping because she was sick back then." The ground shifted beneath me. Memories of my 36-hour labor, sleepless nights, and first milestones raced through my mind. How could Claire rewrite our history like this? When I confronted her, the facade dropped. "Emily deserves a mother who's there for her," Claire snapped. "Not someone who's always working and leaving her with babysitters. I've been more of a mother to her in 3 months than you've ever been." Mike was away on a business trip, unreachable. My mother-in-law, Claire's staunchest ally, brushed me off. "You're overreacting, dear. Claire's just helping out because you're so busy." Now I'm sitting in the quiet of my room, staring at those altered photos and listening to Claire read Emily a bedtime story. My daughter feels like a stranger, slipping through my fingers, and I have no idea how long this has been going on or how far Claire's manipulation has reached. I always believed being a good mother meant showing Emily that women could have careers and families. Now, I wonder if my dedication to work gave Claire the opening she needed to undermine me. But I won't let her win. I've started documenting everything, screenshots, photos, even recording conversations. Tomorrow Mike comes home, and I'll make him see what's happening. Claire may think she's in control, but she doesn't know what a real mother will do to protect her child. I spent the night sifting through Emily's things, each discovery a fresh wound. In her backpack, I found a diary with "To Emily, from your real mommy Claire," scrawled on the first page. Inside were twisted stories, Claire's version of events, where she gave birth to Emily but became very sick and asked me to pretend to be Emily's mom until she recovered. When Mike returned the next morning, I was waiting. I laid everything out on the dining table: the edited photos, the diary, screenshots of Claire's manipulative text to Emily that I found on her iPad. "This is insane," Mike said, running his hands through his hair as he examined the evidence. "Claire wouldn't, she couldn't." "She did," I interrupted, pulling up the footage from the nanny cam I'd installed in Emily's room the night before. The video showed Claire creeping in at 3 a.m., whispering to our sleeping daughter about their special secret and how soon we won't have to pretend anymore. Mike's face went pale. "I'll talk to her," he promised. But his words, "talk, not make her leave," made my stomach churn. That afternoon, I took a rare day off to pick Emily up from school. Claire was already at the gates, her face darkening when she saw me. "Mommy Claire," Emily called out, rushing past me. The sting of her words cut deeper with the murmurs and stares from other parents. "Emily," I said firmly, stepping between them. "Claire is your aunt. I'm your mother." I pulled out my phone and showed her a video I'd found, her birth. "Look, sweetheart, this is the day you were born. That's me holding you." Claire's voice was saccharine but sharp. "Sophia, you're just confusing her. Emily knows the truth now." "The truth?" I snapped. Like those doctored photos? I have the originals, Claire, all of them. Emily's tear-filled eyes darted between us. A crowd was forming, drawn to the tension. My real mommy wouldn't yell, Emily sobbed, clinging to Claire. Just then, Mike's mother appeared, her arrival too conveniently timed. Sophia, she said loudly, her tone patronizing. Maybe you need some rest. Work stress can make people imagine things. I clenched my fists, but instead of screaming, I knelt down to Emily's level. Sweetheart, I said softly, remember when you broke your arm? Who stayed with you in a hospital all night? Who knows you hate strawberries but love strawberry-flavored things? Who kissed your forehead 3 times every night before bed? Emily's grip on Claire faltered. Doubt flickered across her face. Claire quickly intervened. I told her all those things, Sophia. You're making this harder than it needs to be. But I wasn't finished. I pulled out Emily's baby book, my trump card. Look at this, Emily. These are your handprints, your first words, your story. This is your real life, not the one Claire invented. My mother-in-law tried to snatch the book, but Emily grabbed it first. She opened it and ran her fingers over the pages. I remember this, she whispered. You used to read it to me every birthday. Claire's expression turned venomous. Those are just stories she made up. No, Emily interrupted, her voice steadier. Mom drew these pictures. She always makes hearts with swirls at the ends. And look, she pointed to a small flower doodle. I drew this when I was 4. I remember. The crowd murmured. Someone mentioned calling the school counselor. The facade Claire had built was crumbling. Emily turned to me, her eyes wide and uncertain. Mom, she whispered. I'm scared. I opened my arms, and she ran into them. I held her tight as Claire stood frozen, her lies unraveling. But as I glanced at Claire, I saw the fire in her eyes. This wasn't over. Her expression promised that this was only the beginning of her games. That night, while Emily finally slept peacefully in my bed, muffled noises from the guest room caught my attention. Curious, I tiptoed over and peeked in. Claire was frantically packing her bags, her movements erratic and her breathing uneven. Leaving so soon? I asked, flipping on the light. My voice was calm, but the edge was unmistakable. After all your talk about being a real mother. Claire spun around, her face streaked with mascara and fury. You think you've won? She spat, her voice shaking. I have proof that you're an unfit mother. All those late shifts, missed school events, the times you dumped Emily with babysitters. You mean when I was saving lives in the ER? I stepped closer, my voice steady. Why you were? What? Plotting how to steal my child. She pulled at her phone, her hand trembling. I've documented everything. Child services will be very interested in hearing about you. Actually, they won't. Mike's voice came from behind me. He stepped into the room, holding up a USB drive. But they might be interested in these videos of you sneaking into Emily's room at night and manipulating her. Claire's face went ghostly white. You're siding with her? Over your own sister? Mike's tone was resolute. I'm siding with my daughter's safety. You need help, Claire. Real help. Her fury boiled over. This is all your fault, she shrieked, lunging at me. But Mike moved faster, positioning himself between us. Get out, he commanded, his voice low and dangerous. Now, before I call the police. Claire stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was broken by a small voice. Is Aunt Claire sick again? Emily stood in the hallway, clutching her baby book like a lifeline. The sight of her confusion broke my heart. I knelt down and opened my arms. Come here, sweetie, I said gently. She ran into my embrace, her little body trembling. Mike joined us, crouching to Emily's level. Aunt Claire was confused, he said softly. She made up stories to feel better, but it wasn't fair to you or Mom. Emily looked up at me with tear-filled eyes. She told me I had to keep our secret if I loved her. But secrets that hurt people are bad, right? That's right, baby, I said, kissing her forehead 3 times, our special signal. And you never have to keep secrets like that again. The weeks that followed were hard but healing. We started therapy for Emily to help her process everything. My mother-in-law initially defended Claire, but when she learned about the nighttime visits, even she admitted things had gone too far. Claire moved across the country to live with distant relatives. Occasionally, Emily asks about her. When she does, we're honest. Aunt Claire was sick in a way that made her tell stories that weren't true, and she's getting help now. Last night, as I tucked Emily into bed, she asked me something that made my heart swell. "Mom, can we put new pictures in my baby book? Real ones, with memories I don't ever want to forget." "Of course we can, sweetheart," I said, pulling her into a hug. "And Mom," she whispered, her eyes fluttering closed. "I'm sorry I forgot you were my real mommy. I won't forget again." Now, as I write this, Emily's baby book rests open on my lap, filled with new photos and stories of the life we're rebuilding together. I've realized that being a mother isn't about attending every bake sale or crafting the perfect birthday party. It's about an unshakable love that roots itself so deeply it becomes part of who you are. No lie, no manipulation, no betrayal can sever that bond. Not permanently. To all the mothers out there fighting their own battles, stay strong. Your love is real, and it's stronger than any falsehood someone else might try to weave.